Good morning and welcome back to Mrs. DeVita's art room. Today we are going to do a bubble drawing of a cabin. So let's get started. The only thing you need is something circular, a pencil, and a piece of paper. The circular thing can either be a lid of something, a plate, a little bowl. All right, let's begin. So what you're going to do, you're going to kind of find the center of your paper and trace around your circle. So you've got that kind of right square in the middle here. And then we're going to come in and do a hill, and that's going to be called our horizon line, which is where the sky and the land meet. It's just a little bit of void, not too high up. Now for our cabin, you don't have to put the cabin square in the middle. You can put it to the left, you can put it to the right. On this one, it's a little more centered, but I'm going to put it a little bit more to the left this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up on that hill that we just did. We're going to do 2 lines. Those are going to be the side of our cabin. And then we're going to do a third line that is going to be a little bit shorter down here. And what we're going to do is we're going to come across. This is going to be the side that is facing us directly. We're going to do this a little bit three-dimensional. This side, actually, you know what? Let me make this side a little bit further out. That's why we want to draw lightly when we draw with our pencils. So in case you have to erase, I'm going to make it a little longer. This cabin's going to end up being a slight bit bigger than one I did on this particular drawing. And then what you're going to do is you're going to angle down here. So we've got 1, 2, 3 lines, this one being the shorter one. And on the top, we're going to come up and make the peak of the roof. A little bit of a triangle here. And then the same thing, we're going to look at how our roof angles down. And we're going to angle the roof down. And we're going to make sure this is somewhat parallel, so our roof doesn't look strange. If you look at those lines right there, just make sure they're kind of lined up. Now we have the basic part of our cabin here, the basic structure. You could put the door on this side, you could put the door on this side. We are going to continue and just go ahead and put the door on the same side we did last time. Again, with the top of the door, you want to make sure that it kind of slopes down because this is in perspective. So it would actually technically be going to a vanishing point. And we talked about this in my 3rd grade classes. We learned how to do a little bit of perspective drawing. So you kind of get that concept. If you want to make a little bit of a door frame, just come around the door again. Remember, this is just kind of a rustic cabin, so you don't have to make it too detailed. On this other one right here, on the other side, I'm gonna be looking at the window straight on. So I'm just looking to do 1 or 2 rectangles. On the other one, I just had 1 window. On this particular one, I'm gonna do 2. I'm gonna do a little shading as I go along, or afterwards, it's up to you. Maybe I want a little window beside my door here. And you can always square everything up once you're finished here. So I've got my basic structure. Now for my logs, what I'm gonna do, my logs on this side are gonna again follow that roof line. If you look at that, you can always have a ruler handy if you have one at home. And my ones on this side are gonna follow across straight. I wanna make sure they line up. So if you look at what I'm doing, make a little pathway. Now, when I make a pathway for my door here, I can either make it coming out this way, I can make it out this way, I can make it coming out a little straighter. Now, if you remember, you want to have it kind of coming larger as it goes towards you. And again, that's going towards the vanishing point. It's coming further away from you up towards the cabin. So it's going to get larger as it comes towards you. So make sure it spreads out a little bit wider. You don't have to have a path if you do not want one. If you want to make this detailing on the roof, you can always make that. If you want to make it look like there's snow up there, make a little bit of a wavy line. I made a chimney on the side on this one. You don't have to have a chimney, but probably on a rustic log cabin, you're going to have one. So you can always come up. And if you want to make it again, probably make it 3D looking, you just make the side of there. Excuse me. So I have my cabin kind of drawn in, and I can make this detailing. Up on the top of the roof. between the logs. Now what I'm going to do, I have my cabin situated. I can make the door however I want. I can make a little stoop. I could make detailing on a door. Maybe my door is made out of planks. It's up to you. If you want to make a little handle, that's fine as well. If you want to put that little detailing in. I made mine a little different than on this one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make either the hills or the cat or the mountains, whatever might be in the background. So I'm going to come in. And this is a little bit simpler than what we did in our class because it's a bit of a smaller drawing. Now, if I want to make snow caps on my mountains back here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make sort of a zigzag line. Depends on which side I want the snow on. Your mountains don't have to be super realistic, obviously. And then to make it look like snow, what I would end up doing, and my mountains, to make those kind of push back into the space, those would be one of my darker things in the picture so that I still have my cabin showing up against the mountains. So those would be one of my darker parts of my drawing that I'm doing. And again, you can blend with your finger, you can blend with a napkin, you can blend with a paper towel. You don't even have to blend it all. Some people don't like blending, some people do like it a little bit smudgier looking. Nice thing about erasers is you can always come back in, bring out some highlights with your eraser if you want. Or if you have something that you don't particularly like that you've done, you can come back and pull that out later on. Now what you can also do to bring that out is come around your lines with your pencil. If I want to make this look more like an actual log cabin, I can make some little lines of my wood. Okay, rub my lines just to get those kind of smudged out. Now, one thing I am missing, I've got some smudges here, so I'm going to kind of clean those up a little bit. You might want to have, if you have one, have a little eraser handy. If you have one around. So we're going to get rid of all that there. Now, to make your winter trees, what you're going to do, I probably want to have one kind of close up here. So I'm just going to come in and make my lines where I want to have my trees. Maybe one further back here. I usually tell my students to have at least three on the trees, because you're doing a landscape. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can go do it going up. If you're doing an evergreen tree, just, we do the arrow trees where I show the kids how to do, just do like this. You can leave it like that if you wanted to, but if you wanted to do it a little more realistic, kind of come in and shade it in. Do a couple branches kind of showing there. You can also do, now most trees actually, most of the evergreen trees and the fir trees actually go up, but another way you could do it is you could go it, you can angle it downward, because some of them do that. It's up to your preference. You could do, oh, let's do a little shadow for our tree here. Shadowing. Window looks a little small there, so I'm going to come in and kind of refine that a little bit. All right, so now I have my cabin. What I probably want to do is get a little shading into the sky there, and that will kind of keep it in its little bubble here. I could either take my finger, I could take something that I have with handy, like say a paper towel. I can't find my little paper blenders, so what I'm gonna do is I don't make my finger all smudgy. So I'm gonna come in, and again, it depends on your preference as far as shading. If I wanna come in and do a little blending on these mountains, I can do that. When I'm done, I can always, if you prefer, you can come back in and kind of refine everything with a little bit of a marker line or a black outline. It just depends on your personal preference. So here we have it, a bubble drawing, and you can always sign it. Clean it up a little bit. Around the edges. And there we have it. We have ourselves a bubble drawing of a cabin. I've got lots of smudges here. Happy drawing!